Most of the schools treat English as a subject apart from the other international. It's not enough that we have library rooms, library period, library hours, given worksheets, maybe review sheets, asking them to write a summary of the book they read. Though not completely, at least do justice to the I'm not speaking about the letters and the alphabets, but how to get the maximum benefit from reading will have to be taught. Altogether, it's a different story for people who are native speakers of the language, because even before they begin reading, they'll be familiar with the language. They would have imbibed, they would have acquired something through listening and speaking. When it comes to non-native speakers, we have to teach them to get the maximum benefit from reading. Reading is not just to develop your language skills, so it has got other benefits as well. Welcome to another video on my channel. This is Renee Rose Matthew. Thank you for staying with me for long. And if you're visiting the channel for the first time, do not forget to take a look at the channel description. We have a lot of schools operating as English medium schools. Whether it's an English medium school or a non-English medium school, reading will have to be taken seriously, because most of the schools treat English as a subject apart from the other international curriculum. Most of the schools will have reference rooms, books, libraries, and also we have library period, the library hour, the reading hour, and that's a place where students get to refer to books, to resources. But before that, it's important to inculcate the habit, the routine of reading, and also to allow them to explore and experience the benefits of reading on their own. And for that, an environment will have to be created. It's not enough that we have library rooms, library period, library hour, where you have a particular time devoted to reading. But more than that, what happens today is students are sent to the libraries, they read, they come back, that's all. They're just given worksheets, maybe review sheets, asking them to write a summary of the book they read. I don't think that really inculcates the routine or all the things that we have been talking about when it comes to reading. Today also, when I take training sessions, I'm also learning the different ways in which people can read and enjoy the benefits of reading. It's always important to develop the skills. Reading skill is different from just learning to read or identify the words as such. We all can do that. Even if you're not good with a particular language, if you just know the alphabets, if you're able to identify the letters, you'll be able to read. But the benefits, the skill of reading is totally different. It's important to allow students, to allow learners specifically, to listen and read. Listening to content, grasping and understanding the context, though not completely, at least do justice to the maximum content. Listening and along with that, reading. So where you ask questions, what happened, how did it happen? And what else do you understand, decipher from this particular paragraph? What happened before that? It's not just about what, why, when and how, but much more than that. As I told you, it's important to inculcate the routine, the habit of reading. So you begin with the library hours, but what happens is eventually and gradually the library hours are given to other subjects. And it's not the problem with the teachers or with the school most of the time, though there are schools operating on different levels where they begin treating English as a language. I'm really happy about that. But otherwise, it's devoted to studying other areas, other subjects where you don't have the library hours. In short, the library period vanishes from the timetable altogether. It happens. The joy of reading is different. So it's not enough that you bring books from different parts of the country or the world, but how do you read the book? How do you really understand and also indulge in this joy of reading is definitely important, because it's not that you teach the child to read. You may ask me, how do I teach the child to read? It's more about introducing the child to this world of reading, because when I was a child, I was introduced to this joy of reading, to the world of books by my grandfather. And he did not give me books saying, you have to find out the summary, you have to tell me the summary. It's not about that. It's the kind of discussions that we have on a lazy afternoon. I'm sure that most of you will be able to relate with this, where you just have casual talks and discussions with people and get into this habit. The habit becomes routine, where you develop the interest towards reading. The interest gradually develops into habit, routine, and then it becomes passion. Even before passion, you indulge in this joy of reading. And you will notice that it's not just with language, Hindi, English, Sanskrit, or any other language, but every other subject requires the skill of reading. It's important that people understand the benefit of reading and that reading skills are important today. There is a general notion that reading comes only with languages, but gradually and eventually, when it comes to learning, otherwise also learning happens anywhere and anytime. Referring for that matter, and also research comes later in life. And some students get into this routine, get into this habit earlier in their academics. So if the joy of reading is not a part of their routine, it becomes problematic. It's not just about referring and researching, but initially it's reading, enjoying the reading process. And at the same time, subconsciously learners understand that I have been comprehending with a lot of things, but at the same time learning new things. So reading is not just to gather information and to learn new words, but apart from that, there are other benefits which you already know. And I've already done a couple of videos on this topic. So when it comes to library period, library hour, and also reading skills, I can see how learners are struggling with this idea, with this thought. Yes, I know to read, I can write, but it's much more than that. It's not just knowing to read, identifying the alphabets. When it comes to meanings, you can always refer to the dictionary, the resources, and understand the different parts, the different contexts, and write down notes. But it's much more than that when it comes to reading. I hope you get all these guidelines and introduce yourself to the joy of reading, even if you're an adult. If you were not introduced to such things earlier in your life, learning happens anytime, anywhere. It's never too late. Begin from today, from this moment. Happy learning.